Ladies and gentlemen, episode 20, Crown of Thoughts. I never thought I'd have that this would happen. I was just an idea in my head, and I was like, I started off one direction and then switched it up. And I'm like, I want to have my friends over. It was kind of a thing with me and Pat. We would watch podcasts, and I would tell them I really want to do that. I think our friends are just as fucking interesting as any of these other people that we're watching, be them famous or not. And so we kept going, or we I did this, but he was the first guest, and all that. It was pretty cool. Still is. It's gonna be like a DHC podcast, but obviously I've had whoever the fuck I want to on here. And I just thank you guys for watching, and whoever just agreed to come on here, I thank you too, because this is whole thing. I couldn't do this alone. I mean, I could. It'd be like this episode, pretty much, half boring. Well, yeah, this is episode 20. I never thought I'd have 20 fucking episodes, so I just kind of hopped on here, uh, because it's like a holiday or some type of shit for me. It's some project I did actually happened. I got a lot of projects right now, and I just really enjoy doing stuff like that. I don't work on cars in my garage or whatever. I don't do stuff like that particularly. So this is my version of that, having like a project. And it's been turning out really well. I got like 30 some whatever the fuck, almost 40 subscribers, which these other YouTubers would laugh at that, but for me, that's an accomplishment because I can't imagine, you know, it's a little overwhelming to me. Like some of them don't even know me. I literally have people watching this that don't know me. That's that's cool, man. That's really cool. I like that. And yeah, I'm really grateful for all that stuff. It blows my mind. It is, really cool. I got my face smashed in at work today, by the way. Like smashed the fuck in with a giant thick sheet of. I don't know that anyone from work's gonna watch this that's really matters enough to for this for me to have to not say this shit. I don't worry about stuff like that much, but this plexiglass, man, it was fucking thick, and there was a ton of weight behind it. And I was standing right in front of it, like my face was like right here by it, and it broke off and it smashed me. It fucking hit me right square in the nose. There's blood everywhere. I don't know if you can still tell if I'm bleeding now because it was bleeding all day. Blood was gushing out my mouth, my nose. I laid the stuff we soak oil up with on the ground and bled all over that fucking thing. I couldn't tell nobody because they'd send me in for a urine. And so I was just fucked up all day. I got dizzy. Every time my nose healed, it would just start bleeding again in like a couple minutes. And I got a little worried about it. And I started feeling sick. I think I swallowed too much blood. And oh my God. And so it was like at 8 a.m. and I had to keep working till 7 p.m., 7 to 7. So this happened mad early. And for the first time ever, I wore my mask over my nose. It looked suspicious as fuck. Because I've never done that. I've never worn the mask over my nose. I not one time that I can think of. So it looked suspicious. And whatever, no one's gonna question it though. Aaron finally wore his mask properly, or wore it to begin with. So no, you can't really question me about that, but that was fucked up. My teeth, oh my God, my whole face was hurting. My nose, my teeth. I thought I broke my nose at first because kind of went into shock from the blow. It just fucking. It was like I got punched right in the face, like I was in a boxing match. I don't know if it's. I think it's better. I don't know. It might be something caked on there. So I called my mom, and she's a nurse, and I explained the situation. She's like, "Ah, you're fine." That's the thing about growing up with having my mom as a nurse. Other people's parents would freak out over every little health concern or whatever. If your mom's a nurse, the majority of the time she's just like, "You're fine. You'll be all right," because she knows that stuff, and a lot of people overreact to stuff like that. But so that happened today, and I did not enjoy that. I felt sick in my stomach, and I actually got dizzy. There was a couple times I took a step, and I kind of, like, whoa, what was that? You know, and so there was that. And now I got home, and I didn't have anything to do actually, because I broadcast my phone onto my TV, and it for some reason wouldn't pick up the device. It wouldn't pick up the TV, and I'm sitting there like, man, I wanted to watch a movie, and then it occurred to me that this would be my 20th episode, and I decided just to do it solo. And I really enjoy doing this, man. And there's a lot of people that came on I didn't think would. There's a lot of people I thought would that don't feel comfortable doing that. And there's some people I want to return. I'll bug them a little bit. I'll back off if they're like, "Fuck you, I'm not going back on that shit." There's some people that haven't been on yet that I want to get on. One person in particular, our schedules don't work out very well, and we had a planned day that we were gonna do it, and I forgot. I completely forgot. My phone was in the other room charging. I was stuck on my computer doing some other stuff, and I checked my phone later, and I'm like, oh fuck, and it was like, so FaceTime dude, and we talked for a while, but it was like supposed to be on the show. I'm gonna get him on here, and whenever our schedules match up again, and that happened a couple times because I'm pretty absent-minded. It happened with someone else too, and so that's really the deal here. Crown of Thoughts. I haven't had too much criticism from people. I thought everyone would be dissing me. Like, dude, this show you do is fucking stupid. I thought, I'd hear some of that. Haven't really. I don't know. It was kind of like half the people the fuck, my cat's got dust all over her head. Get that off, weirdo. Like cobwebs hanging from her face. What was I trying to say? I didn't get too much criticism, and I didn't feel very comfortable at first. Half the stuff I did, I wasn't gonna post, and I just did to see so I could watch the progression of it. And there's a lot of people that really don't feel comfortable doing stuff like that, and they're my friends, and I want them on, some of my best friends, and that's kind of how it went, and it's like turned into something legitimate. I've got There's episodes that have like fucking 70 some views, which is a little bit, I'm taken by it, taken back by it a little bit. And I've had people tell me, I watched this episode and you had this weirdo on and they said this and that. And I've had people talk to me about stuff I've said on these. And it's kind of humbling because, like, I've done a lot of music and I haven't had good responses, like, responses as much of that. I think people, what I'm saying is, I think people enjoy the podcast thing and being a part of it because you're just talking to motherfuckers. And I think that that's why it's been easy for me to have people on and include them in this because and there's some people that just they don't get to speak their mind that much, and uh, and so I enjoy doing that. And like there's, oh, you know, kind of stumbling over my words right now, must because I got my face smashed in at work. It's my excuse for it. Anyways, the fuck is this cat is weird. She's all right. Anyways, you can't see what the cat's doing, but yeah, I've got stuff planned for the future. I want to have some more panels. I call it that, like when you have multiple people on at once, maybe to the point where I don't have to talk even. Because I don't, like, right now, I don't know what to say. And I can't tell if you can see if there's like blood caked onto me or if that's just the way the lighting looks. I I washed my face a bunch of times, but it just kept bleeding again, opening up. Maybe because it's dry in there. I think it's all right now. And but yeah, I mean, and my sister came on, and that's something I never expected. I never expected her to do that, and you know, it's been really cool, man. It's been really cool, and I know when I did the first ones, I kind of would run out of stuff to say, kind of like what I'm doing now, and I would actually stop the recording and then start it up again. And so those ones were easier to do, and my face wasn't on them. And but I really enjoyed those audio ones. They were fun. It was like, for me, I was just keeping a journal basically, and I enjoyed that. It's almost nostalgic. I almost want to do some more of those. It's kind of what I was gonna do right now, and I just have my face on it. You know, I almost wanted to go back to some of them audio ones because it was a little different. They were shorter, and it was just me bullshitting, and it was kind of modeled after like the Gavin McInnes podcast. I think he had like different series, but the one he has like real short ones, and he just bullshits and goofs off and says funny shit. And it was kind of like that. And the actual Crown of Thoughts episode I made was like episode 6, where actually came up with the name because I had just stockpiled a couple of them without having a name. And that one was like a little bit more serious. Like it really helped me because I had some shit on my mind that day, and it was like a lot of times I'll get inside my head and I will torture myself talking about or thinking about things I really don't need to be thinking about that aren't really helpful. Legitimate problems, but the way my mind would just focus on the worst possible things that I could think of, and it was almost like peptides, if you know what I mean, like peptide addiction, where they have well, there's different types of people. There's people that are like addicted to being victims. There's people that are addicted to pain, and like a peptides uh, that are in your brain create like they're like drugs for emotions, and you make these connections in your brain, and they little pathways like that they go through in your brain, and the more these peptides take these paths or these neurotransmitters make these connections, the easier it is for it to keep happening, and that's how it occurs. That's why I'm saying like addicted to being a victim, or something more positive, even like I don't know, like thinking you're the shit or whatever. And that stuff kind of happens, like you get addicted to those modes of thought. And I would have these issues where I would think I'd be afraid, like I'd go to work or do whatever. It doesn't even have to be that, but I would be afraid of my own mind because I knew it would attack itself, so to speak, eventually. And something happened to me that was really bad, involving a person that I really cared about, and it was a situation I couldn't do anything about. I couldn't do anything about it, and so it was like, why sit there and torture yourself about it? And that's the kind of thing I would do for the majority of my life, and it would make me afraid of my own mind. And like one of the things I've realized at the end of the day, your mind is the only thing you're afraid of. That's it. And I mean, like, think about it. When something really bad happens, you're technically you're saying you're afraid of. I mean, like, you could be afraid of the thing happening, but in reality, what you're really afraid of is how you're going to react to the thing happening. If there's certain things that don't have to hurt you, or don't have to hurt you quite so much, and you can make situations as bad as you want to, and but it's not very helpful. And that's something I was real good at, is making situations really bad. Making bad situations a lot worse is what I'm trying to say. Like when I went through my divorce, it didn't have to be that bad. I could have just bounced back fairly quickly, but no, I decided I'm going to make it as hard to recover as possible. And some other situations very similar to that, and I could have recovered so much faster if I had the simple rationale like I do now, and like I was talking about on the actual Crown of Thoughts episode. And I made that one, that helped me a lot. After I did that one, I just, bam, everything in my head about that situation was done. And a lot of it comes from, a lot of it that helped me out was watching certain psychologists and stuff. It was said on the one video I was watching, the reason you have memory, period, is because there was something that happened you didn't learn from, or you didn't extract any information from, and that's why you keep thinking, and that's why you remember it, because you're supposed to figure something out that you never figured out. And what I was thinking with this situation that happened, that potentially could have destroyed me for another couple years, I was thinking about it and I was like, there's nothing to figure out. This was a situation where I did what I thought was right, and I poured a lot of myself into the situation over the course of a lot of years. And kind of, I wouldn't say it like blew up in my face, but it was like it was over the situation. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be so sad about this for so long. Again, being afraid of your own mind type shit. And I thought about it, and I'm like, there's nothing to rationalize. There's nothing to get to gain from thinking about it. If I had never taken on this responsibility, that that would have been fine. I chose to take on this responsibility, and that's what I chose, and that was fine. But the situation shifting, I should say, is whatever. I'm not gonna get into details anyways, but the situation have how it shifted, and it was kind of a done deal and over. It was what it was. Life is what it is. There's phases in life, and I thought about that. I was like, I chose to do something. It was neither right or wrong. I poured a lot of my energy into it, and there was no permanence. Permanence? There's a Static X song. I know he uses this word. Yeah, I think that's the word. It was never going to be permanent. Nothing really is. And I knew that. And so rather than decide, hey, I'm going to be sad about this shit and think about it all the time, was like, you know what? There's nothing really to think about. And that's a lot of situations in life. There's choices you make that are neither right nor wrong. And that's just kind of how I view life now. Obviously, there's things you can do that are wrong, or at least I would say not helpful or hurtful to others. I don't really, right and wrong are very weird words to try to actually define. It's like when someone uses the word love. Like, what do you mean? Like there, that could mean so many things. When someone uses the term God, like when someone says something about God, like, what do you think about that, Aaron? It's like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. To be honest with you, I have thoughts about that concept, but everyone thinks a completely different thing. Like almost everyone on the planet has their own little idea of what you're talking about when you say God. And there's other languages where they have a bunch of words for love, and we got one. Very confusing. You know, you can love your wife, you can love your child, you can love chocolate ice cream. You know what I mean? You can love beer. You can, you know, it, very strange. I bet learning English is like very weird to people. And I know a lot of Spanish speaking people, and they confirm that. They're like, well, four could be a number, or it could mean like this is supposed to be a thing based on this. It's hard for me to not use the word in the sentence. But you know what I mean. You could say like, this is for you, or for, meaning the number and stuff. Like our language does that a lot, I think, compared to others. I don't know because I don't really know other languages that well. But that well, I know parts of stuff. Like I can kind of tell what people are saying in Spanish, but I can't speak it very well unless I'm cussing. So, a bunch of stuff. I really hope there's not. Man, my nose, I thought I broke my nose, but it was like, it would hurt a lot worse if I'd had. This cat is fucking out of her mind. But, I'm not talking about it. I just, episode 20, man. Like I made 20 fucking episodes, and that's really cool to me. And I can't believe people watched it. I'm not making fun of. That's really weird to make fun of your own audience. I've done that jokingly, and stuff like that. What I mean by like I can't believe people watch it is I'm humbled by it. It's pretty cool. Uh, it's pretty cool that they do that. And when I do like these solo ones, like I started off with, it's very weird. Like I have to keep talking and I have to keep shifting back and forth in the conversation in the monologue or whatever. And it's odd, man. You try that shit once. Tell me, you guys do that. Try that shit. Tell me what it's like. Bouncing around like that and trying. I did the one. This cat is nuts. The one I did like that, and it was like an hour long. It's just pretty cool. I just kind of stared at the time thing till it hit an hour, and then I was like, okay, I did it. That was like my goal to do an hour long by myself thing. And that was like I had trouble getting people to agree to come on here, and I realized why. It's one thing when you go to someone with a concept and you're like, dude, I'm gonna do this thing. You want to be a part of it? It's kind of like I actually don't really know what you're talking about. It's another thing to already start the thing, and then someone's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. You need a you need a product first. That's a music thing. Making music, it was always kind of like that. You need the product first before someone's interested, and stuff like that. My nose hurts like a motherfucker right now, but and this has been really cool, and I hope to have a lot more people on here because there's a lot of really awesome people, and that's kind of what I enjoy about this now is getting a chance to show you guys some of the cool people I've met. You know, there's yeah, I keep reiterating that, but there's just a lot of cool people. I like to hear what they say, and they all think their own way, their own little special way. Uh, and stuff like that, And so, yeah, I just got home from work a little bit ago, 12 hours. I go in tomorrow for 12 hours. And so I'm a little bit tired. My face hurts still, like my teeth hurt. The dentist, I had a really good dentist, Aspen Dental. You guys know that. You guys have heard of that. I had all these. I had one bridge put in. I'm supposed to have two more, but then I had a bunch of other teeth worked on. And my old dentist would put it's this one. I'm giving you guys the finger, but it's the front, the buck teeth, man. And my old dentist, he would put it back in the tooth, and it'd fall out like a month or so later. The one time it lasted like a year, and I'm like, dude, and he was like an old guy. He had probably been a dentist for a while. Didn't wasn't up with all the new technology. Trying his best, and I kind of felt some kind of way about it. But I just kind of left and went to Aspen Dental, the big corporate dental place. They did an excellent job, and the shit's in there and it won't fall out. I've gotten rocked in the face a number of times now since then, and the tooth did not fall out. You know, like how do you think it fell out originally? Uh, was dating this girl and her family. I just basically met her family at the party. First time meeting her family and chilling with them. We had a couple bottles of liquor and shit. Her family, a bunch of partiers. And but the one guy, I forget what relation he was to her, maybe a cousin or something. He had probably had too much to drink, but I don't know what his normal situation. He can't be the best guy, but I witnessed him push his own mother into the wall, against the wall, not into it, but pushed her aside. And I'm like, no, I don't care who the fuck this is. I'm not gonna sit back and watch that. That's not what I do with a situation like that. So I went and grabbed like his arms and I put him to the side. And I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out. And he headbutted me right in the face and knocked this shit right out. And it was funny. I actually took the little piece of the tooth and I wrapped it in a baggie and knotted it like that. And when the cop came, I handed it to him. And I'm like, this is not crack cocaine. It's actually my tooth. But yeah, that was a long time ago, and the dentist had still been work. Every now and then, the tooth would fall out. So the tooth thing had been an ongoing issue ever since then. That fucker rocked my tooth out with his head, knocked my tooth out with his head, and I had some other teeth a little bit fucked up. I also got that tooth, you know, not knocked loose like the band in a hardcore mosh pit. Imagine that. But Aspen Dental, Aspen Dental is the shit. Because if you've seen what just happened to me today, you would assume my teeth in the front would have been knocked out. But no, they're fine. And so it's, I plan to keep doing this until I get bored of it. And maybe if I get bored of it, I just take a little break. There's one person in particular that wanted to come on here and have this person do their own episodes without me, without anyone, because they're just that good at it, at this type of thing. Better than me, because they would just keep on talking, never stop. And I'm like, you got to do your own fucking episode. There's actually two people like that, but the one I don't expect to. But I'm trying not to name the people, but not that I'm saying anything negative. But so there's that. I wanted to have a whole series with someone else doing solo episodes and just kind of record them. Like I said, this is more of a shrine to my friends than it is about me. It started off as a journal for me about me, but that's kind of what it is now, I suppose. I don't really have a whole lot else to say, guys, except thank you. Thank you for watching this. And go fuck yourselves. Episode 20, man. Thanks. This is not a very long one because it's hard for me to do this alone. I got to have someone there, talking, and then you know how it works. But thank you guys. I'm gonna keep going with this. And yeah, this is just some celebrating episode 20. And we'll have more shit going on. And I'm gonna try to get some more guests on here. And hopefully I didn't have blood caked onto my face this whole time. I don't see any. But alright, motherfuckers. Peace and thank you. Crown of Thoughts, episode 20.